Hi, I'm Shell from Chris and Shell Talk Movies, and this is Penelope. Um, and I thought she was a lady until she did that. Here is my thoughts on Greenland 2 Migration. I saw the original, I'm sorry, the first, um, about 3 weeks to a month ago. Oddly enough, I'd never heard of it, even though I really like the stars Morena Baccarini and Gerard Butler. So it's about a comet that they name Clark that hits Earth. And where he hits, everything is destroyed. And then the little parts of him uh, hit the rest of the planet. And where they live, they need to get, they need to get to Greenland. But the government selected certain families to go into the bunker that's in Greenland, and they're in Sweden and France and across the world for an event like this, so that people who can help rebuild the planet are in there. And then once everything's clear to come out, they are the ones who will form the government and rebuild buildings and things like that. And he is, I forget exactly, but some sort of engineer, buildings, bridges, things like that. So in the first one, they are trying to get onto the plane, and of course mishaps happen, and they finally get there, and it's determined that their son has diabetes and they won't let them in because no sick people are allowed. How that was missed by the government, who knows? So I have a plot hole with that in the second one, so we'll table that for a second. But so the whole fight of the first one is getting to Greenland. It's very exciting. It's very visually stunning, even on my only 65-inch 4K TV. I would definitely have wanted to see that in theater. That's why I went to the theater to see this one. So it, my prediction was, I called it post-apocalyptic, which it's really not, but I mean, it could be an end of the world type situation. That it would be visually stunning, and that people would be fighting over food, shelter, ridiculous things that they think they're entitled to that no one else should have, food, shelter, that sort of thing. Which I understand, but when you're, blowing people up because they have a granola bar that you want, it's a bit outrageous. So at any rate, so we get to the second one, and the first thing I will say about this film is it is not visually stunning. The CGI was, in my opinion, terrible. And I get that you can't really see the sun. It's very cloudy, and Clark is still happening. He's still sending off little pieces that are still hitting Earth. Nothing the size of actual Clark, but so it opens with Gerard Butler going out into the world in this protective suit, similar to something a hazmat person would wear, or what Marty McFly wore in Back to the Future when he spoke to his dad about writing the book and talking to his mom. Anyway, I digress. So they he finds this abandoned ship that's all shot to crap, so they can't, not shot to crap, but it's, he basically pillages it for parts so that they can continue to fix what's going on in the bunker, things that, obviously things break and things like that. So and he found three floating like lifeboats, kind of. They kind of look like a tugboat with a lid. They're super strange looking, but that's what they're for. They're like lifeboats. So he gets back in, and the biggest thing you notice about him is the fact that he's got this terrible cough. And they addressed it later, but he's got this terrible, terrible cough. So at any rate, then they're back in the bunker, and they're showing how people are living in the bunker. They use this one room for school, for yoga, for dinner, for the whole thing. And then the bunker kind of starts to fall apart. It's cracking, the foundation starts to go, and then Clark shows up again. He starts with like he did it on purpose. Like, other parts start to come, and then there's a big crack that comes up from the ocean, and then there's a big tsunami wave. So obviously, I mean, you're going to know something bad's going to happen in the beginning anyway. So that's really all that I'm going to give away. So the whole movie, this purpose of the movie is they want to get to Liverpool, which is where the other bunker is, and they thought that they were doing well, at least better than them over there. So they end up in France, and they really have to fight to get there. And they meet some really nice people on the way and some not so nice people on the way. I just felt like it was a little too predictable. And again, I really wanted it to be visually stunning. I mean, Marina Baccarini looked absolutely amazing. Gerard Butler's looking a little rough, if you ask me. I appreciate he was supposed to trapped in a bunker. They were only supposed to be in the bunker for 1 year. We are on year 5, and they are running out of everything. So, my plot hole with the kid is they said that there was no medication and no sick people were allowed in this bunker. Well, when the bunker starts to fall apart, they show them packing, and the kid opens this box, and there's like bottles of pills. So I'm very confused as to why they wouldn't allow a sick person in, and how after over 5 years he's got insulin because she's telling him to remember to take your insulin. So I'm super confused on that, and they never explain it. And maybe nobody else noticed it. I don't know, but it's driving me nuts. But anyway, there is talk of a third one. I do not know how they would make that happen. So they're trying to get, sorry, a little messed up there, but so they're trying to get to the crater. One of the scientist doctors says that similar to the Big Bang, or when the asteroid hit the Earth and destroyed all the dinosaurs, that section would, similar to when a fire goes through, everything grows back thicker, better, more lush, that sort of thing. That would happen where Clark originally hit. And that's where the revitalization would start. So that's really where they decide they want to go after this scientist convinces them that she's not crazy. So that's the whole point. They want to get first to Liverpool, which is where they want to go before this scientist lady convinces them. So I'm not going to give up the rest, but I did read either yesterday or the day before that there are talks of a third one, and I personally have no idea how they'll make that happen. I feel like it ended perfectly where it is. I would give it a 5.5, maybe. I don't even think I could stretch it to a 6. Like I said, I did not appreciate the CGI, and I do appreciate that you had to use CGI. This is not a practical effects type of movie, but maybe, I don't know. I thought they could have done better. Maybe in 4K it will look better. I did not see it in any kind of special theater. I just went and saw it. But I mean, I recommend it if you saw the first one, so it would wrap up the storyline for you. But I would not rush out to see it. I wouldn't pay $30 for the Blu-ray or for the digital when it releases. So those are my thoughts. Do with them what you will. And I'm sorry I had the story a little backwards there in the middle a little bit. I hope to see you on our next stream. Tomorrow we are doing a double header of both National Treasure movies, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 p.m. Australian Central Time, if you'd like to join Chris and I. And if you go on our Instagram, you'll get a weekly update of our calendar every Sunday. I publish that, and we are Chris and Shell, Chelle, Talk Movies. One word, all one thing. So thanks so much for watching.